What is up? It's your boy Johnny SHREVE, BB Pro, Mr. Tell Like It Is. Today, guys, we're going to cover the top 3 overrated and underrated back exercises. For each of them, I'll highlight what I believe is common mistakes and how to avoid them. Anyway, guys, without further ado, keep your eyes glued to the screen and your ears glued to the speakers, and let's learn some shit. All right, guys, first off is conventional deadlifts. Now, I know some people program deadlifts on their back day, and as much as you are stabilizing through the back, it's not the best exercise. It's a highly overrated exercise for your back. Developing your back, getting it bigger, wider, thicker. There are other movements that are so much more beneficial than doing deadlifts. Now, deadlifts are a great exercise and something you can add into back, but to have it as a primary mover or exercise or a big part of your back day, necessarily efficient. So some common mistakes that add to this being a very overrated exercise for back is primarily most people round through the back. If your back is rounded, you're not engaging your lats. You're not depressing your shoulders, your core, your brace isn't engaged, and not necessarily getting the best benefit from keeping your back in that isometric hold while doing the actual lift. So for me, guys, conventional deadlifts are just overrated. All right, so next up on the list, we have single arm dumbbell rows. Now, guys, I like single arm dumbbell rows. I like them a lot. I think they're great. But there's just so many ways that people do them and do them wrong that doesn't really give you the best benefit from doing the movement. When it comes to single arm dumbbell rows, common mistakes is usually torquing too much with the elbow, you're swinging the arm too much, and to be quite honest, from the dead part of the hang, you really aren't doing much. It's not until you actually start really moving the weight that it really starts to benefit. Now, for the most part, you gotta go somewhat, not necessarily too heavy, but it has to be heavy enough to really elicit some muscle growth. And for the most part, people always overshoot the amount of weight they're actually using. When it comes to good exercise, it's gonna keep the load onto the lats. It's again one of those movements that are really good, but a lot of people miss the mark doing it. So although single arm dumbbell rows are a good exercise to do, it's just not the best, and it's a highly overrated exercise. All right, next up on the list is machine back extensions. Machine back extensions, they're designed to help, increase your strength in your lower back, get your rectors engaged. But it also does include a lot of the glutes as well too. And for that, for the most part, sometimes you're really doing more of a hamstring and glute exercise than you are doing a erector exercise. And for the most part, when it comes to making common mistakes, it's always the over hyper extending of the lower back. Yes, maybe you're getting some tension in there, but again, for the most part, most people are swinging it. Most of the time, they're overextending their back. Their glutes and their hamstrings are way more focused, taking a lot of that load away from the lower back. So for me, guys, it's a very overrated exercise for back. And guys, what's not overrated is the final diet. So guys, get your copy in the link in the description below. Anyway, hey, what's good, people? Struggling to keep up with your routine, or you feel like you're just spinning the wheels? Well, you came to the right place. Check out the link in the description below for my customized one-time training or nutrition plans. I'm also offering online coaching with weekly check-ins and unlimited contact with myself. And look, if you don't want to dive in right away and you have some questions, book yourself a video call with myself. And at the end of the consult, I deduct off any package that you pick. Anyway, guys, let's get back to the show. Guys, let's talk about our underrated back exercises. First up on the list, one of my favorite is the straight arm pull downs. Now, straight arm pull downs are an awesome exercise to do. You're basically doing exactly what the lats and the teres are intended to do, which is shoulder extension. Now, being in that bent over position, having your arms in full range of motion, the tension starts right away on the teres. And while you're pulling through the extension, depressing your shoulders and scooping all the way down, you're getting an amazing full range of motion from top to bottom. It's one of those movements that you can literally do in replace of sometimes lat pull downs. Again, when it comes to that movement, it's doing exactly what the lats and the teres are intended to do, which is shoulder extension. Now, some common mistakes that happens when we're doing these exercises is, again, using way too much traps. You see at the end of people's sets when they're doing this exercise that the traps are to take over way too early. And then the triceps, while the elbows bend too much. Things you want to avoid doing is flexion or extension of the elbows and then using your traps. Make sure you're engaging your lats right away to create that shoulder depression, so when we're doing the full extension, we're not using our traps, and make sure we're locking the arms out. So when we're locking the arms out, we don't get our elbows doing this and then creating a tricep exercise when this is primarily for our lats and our teres. Now, second on this list of most underrated is the single arm cable row. A lot of times I've seen this movement done on machines. It's done with dumbbells. And for me, I find that doing the single arm cable row is one of the most underrated movements to do. I did a lot of these during my prep, and it was a great exercise to do because it always kept my lats engaged. Some things I always want to make sure people are doing when they're doing these exercises is primarily when we're doing the movement from the start, I always tell people, take that hand and push the weight down. Push the handles down, and then while we're stretching and flexing, we're keeping the lats engaged. Those are some of the mistakes people make, is when they're at the top of the lift, the shoulders are sometimes up here. There's not much of engagement on the lats, and they're pulling to get this high stuff this way. So if we really want to make this a great exercise, and this is why it's an underrated exercise, is you want to make sure that we're engaging the lats right away by just pushing down on the handle, almost like a hammer, pushing down on it and keeping it down while pulling and driving the elbow back and squeezing and then stretching all the way out at the top of the lift. I find this is one of those best exercises you can do to really just hit the lats, pop them right up to get the most out of the stimulus out of that muscle. Last but not least, the most underrated on this list is going to be the bent over Pendlay row from the ground. Basically a dead stop Pendlay row, which I find is one of the best moves to do. You've seen myself do it, and you've seen Dr. Mike do it as well, and some other people do this exercise. What makes it such a great exercise is that it's an all-encompassing. You're getting a great bent over row, starting from a dead stop, and then while you're traveling the weight up, you're getting back extension as well too. Doing this exercise, I find, is one of those kill two birds with one stone movements, where it's gonna hit everything: your lats, your rhomboids, your traps, your rear delts, and your core, and your erectors. This is a great movement to do to add onto your back day. And again, it's not one of those exercises where you have to load the weight either. It's something we can get a moderate weight and build it from there, making sure we're moving through the full range of motion, starting from the bottom, from the ground, and then controlling the weight up where we're in a neutral spine the entire time, and then coming up just slightly a bit to make sure that the erectors are getting involved with this movement. I find this is one of the best movements to do, and I think you can literally take, if you wanted to, you can literally take these 3 underrated exercises and make a full back day out of it. It could be your second back day. If you're doing a push-pull legs, or you're doing 2 back days in a week, this is a great one to do to hit your lats, your teres, your rear delts, your rhomboids, your traps, your erectors. This entire underrated list here will hit every part of your back, leaving you with one of the best back exercises you've probably ever done. So do me a favor, try this. Start on pull downs to warm up. 4 sets, 10 to 20 reps. 3-second negative, nice stretch to the top and all the way through. If you fail at 15, great. Either way, 10 to 20 reps, you're doing 2 to 3 second negative, a nice little pause at the top. Then moving on to single arm cable row. Making sure, remember, we're pushing down the weight, stretching it out and pulling back. Again, do that again. 10 to 20 reps, 2 to 3 second negative, a nice stretch at the top of the lift, a nice contraction. Take that for 10 to 20 reps, 2 to 3 second negative. And then your last but not least, finishing off with bent over Pendlay row from the ground. Take that for 3 hard sets, 5 to 10 reps, 2 second negative, nice pause above and stretching, contracting the entire time, keeping the core engaged, a nice brace, a neutral spine, and there you have it, a great back day with those 3 exercises. Anyway guys, if you like this video, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you want me to cover other exercises just like this in this type of style. And guys, check it out. Ebook, get it right now. The Final Diet, in the link in the description below. Grab yours right now. Until next time, guys, binge watch my videos. You guys know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.